IZI LLC sponsors Self-Identity Through Ho'oponopono is an updated Hawaiian problem-solving process to release memories that are experienced as problems. Self-Identity Through Ho'oponopono was developed by Morrnah Nalamaku Simeona, a Hawaiian kahuna lapa'au. She was recognized in Hawaii as a living treasure of Hawaii in 1983. When we are willing to take 100% responsibility and let go, what is right and perfect unfolds. The updated IZI LLC sponsors Self-Identity Through Ho'oponopono process provides a step-by-step approach to achieving peace, balance, and a new meaning of life through an understanding of one's self-identity. I'm Caroline Kawainuenue Sayres, and I'm an instructor and past coordinator for IZI LLC. I am living in South Central Pennsylvania, and I took my first Self-Identity Through Ho'oponopono class in 1984 in Philadelphia with Morrnah, and spent some time going to classes with her, and when Yihilakala also came, had that opportunity. And Self-Identity Through Ho'oponopono has been my way of life for the past 37 years.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. My name is Mary Curler, and I'm the IZI Master Coordinator and Master Instructor. I have the privilege of working with the coordinators and instructors worldwide to assist in putting on the classes. And I've been doing Ho'oponopono for 23 years, and each day it still feels to me like it's a new day, and there's so many things that I have the opportunity to clean with. So I'm very grateful to Morrnah for this process. And so I'd like to read one of my favorite quotes from Morrnah. So she says, "If we can accept that we are the sum total of all past thoughts, emotions, words, deeds, and actions, and that our present lives and choices are colored or shaded by this memory bank of the past, then we begin to see how a process of correcting or setting a right can change our lives, our families, and our society." Morrnah Nalamaku Simeona. So I'd like to ask Caroline if she has any comments on the quote or any experience she'd like to share using the Self-Identity Through Ho'oponopono tools. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Lots of experiences over the years, for sure. I have found definitely that for me, when I took my first class in '84, I have been a regular practitioner of Ho'oponopono, and that has made a difference for me in terms of applying the cleaning. But when I first took my class, I have shared this before, but I had a lot of anxiety. And honestly, in my soul, I really thought that life was just something to be endured. But there was a part of me that was looking for peace, but I didn't really realize that the source of my problems was not outside of myself. And that the cause was actually memories replaying in me, which Morrnah helped with the tools and attending the classes. I was able to see that. And I didn't know at that time too, that whatever was going on in my life that I was completely responsible for. So I love this quote because to me, and I love the phrase, correcting an error and setting a right. And for me, that helps to bring me back to this place of I am responsible. When I get caught up in thinking and that the problem is outside of me and still happens, I'm still cleaning with that a lot. It brings me back to the idea that I'm responsible and that these are errors in me that I have created, accumulated, and accepted over eons of time, and that these errors are dictating my experience of my life. So of all the things that I've probably cleaned with and many problems over the years and today and in this moment, I know that now there's nothing that I can't clean. And I'm really grateful for this gift of Ho'oponopono because I have a way out. There's a way out. And I know that if I'm willing to take responsibility and let go and let God, that there's nothing that can't be solved or that can't be cleaned. I don't have to know what's happening, which is another blessing. I like to think I know what's happening, but I don't know what's happening. And because I'm only seeing just the tip of the iceberg, I'm not seeing everything. And I'm so grateful for that. And I know that every time I do the cleaning now, I'm different. every time, and that my history is being changed. So to me, this quote and this really sacred gift from Morrnah is truly a gift of freedom. And all I have to do is take responsibility and choose, make the choice. Do I want to be free or do I want to suffer? And for me, it's freedom from pain and suffering and burdens that, I've been carrying for eons of time. And, working with Morrnah early on, what came out so much was the sacredness of Ho'oponopono and the sacredness of these tools. One of the things I think about Morrnah is that it wasn't just what Morrnah said, but it was who she was and what she did. And I remember being in classes with her, and a student would ask a question about something, and I would, of course, taking these notes and writing everything down, and I'd write down the answer and what she said. And then I'd be in another class, and a student would ask a same question, and the answer would be totally different. And it brings me back again. It just was the perfect way for me to see that each moment is we do the cleaning, and each time we do the cleaning, we're different. And so the inspiration comes through, and the inspiration could be completely different. So that was really I think about that today, 37 years later, and I think about that so much. And as far as this quote, for me, reminds me of a couple of stories, but one story in particular. There's a park that I like to walk in, and I've walked, for years in this park. And when I walk in this park, it's on the confluence of two rivers. I would do a lot of cleaning, and it was a kind of a desolate park. I mean, it was really empty, and it was beautiful, like so beautiful trees and wildlife, but it was not used. And so I did this for several years. And then I left the area. I came back a year later, and I was just struck by my experience. There were families like gathered in the, around the charcoal grill, and having, family reunions, kids running around, laughing, having fun. There were docks tied up, and there were boats and people using kayaks, and it had completely changed. And that, for me, really, honestly, I was like, wow, the cleaning, who knew that from the cleaning that I never would have predicted that this would have happened. It was just a really beautiful, wonderful experience. And then the other story that I'd like to share is one a little bit more personal, but my son, I have two boys, and as a mom, I learned not to get engaged and get involved and interfere with their lives. My son was having some difficulty in finding the right job, and he had been from one job kind of to the next, and nothing was working. And I just worked on myself, and I was working on something totally unrelated to my son. But recently he came in and he shared with me that he got a job, and it's doing something that he really loves. Like, it's him. It's his talents, and it's just so perfect. And it happened without, it just happened. It just showed up. And for me, it was a reminder again that all I have to do is work on myself. And if I'm in the right place and I'm doing my cleaning, everybody else will be in the right place. So I'm really grateful to share this experience with you today. And I really want to thank you for the opportunity.